Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsir Namshar. On the News Mongolia today, protesters gathered at Sukhbaatar Square demanding the government's resignation. United States donates 2,000 medical devices to Mongolia to help combat flu-like illness. The Smile coffee shop, run by young people with Down syndrome, is successfully operating. For the news, stay tuned. On this weekend, protesters gathered at Sukhbaatar Square to express their collective dissatisfaction with the current government, calling for its immediate resignation. The public demonstration was led by the Freedom Coalition Party.
The leader of the Freedom Coalition Party, Sukhar, stated that the protest's sole and uncompromising goal was to push for the government's complete removal from power. She noted that no negotiations are expected, emphasizing that no excuses or explanations from officials would be accepted. The weekend protest represented the public's frustration with the government's ongoing failure to tackle a range of critical issues. Protesters highlighted problems such as increasing poverty, rising inflation, higher taxation, and the mismanagement of public finances. They also pointed to widespread corruption and severe air pollution caused by coal burning as further evidence of the executive power's inability to govern effectively. Additional grievances included economic hardships during the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in many private businesses being forced to close. Protesters argued that the government had unfairly placed the financial burden on enterprises. Many carried signs with slogans such as "Government resign" and "Parliament resign," signaling a desire for significant political reform. Throughout the protest, organizers used bullhorns to remind participants to remain peaceful. Attendees were encouraged to respect one another, avoid actions that could lead to violence, and stay mindful of their rights, including the right to reject unlawful demands from law enforcement. The event reflected a growing dissatisfaction among citizens, with many feeling that drastic changes in leadership are needed to address Mongolia's socio-economic and environmental challenges.
In response to the worsening flu and flu-like illness outbreak in Mongolia, the U.S. military's civil-military liaison element and the U.S. Embassy donated 2,000 pulse oximeters to the Ministry of Health. The oximeters are crucial tools to help doctors and nurses quickly evaluate and triage patients, which is especially needed as hospitals in Ulaanbaatar are facing capacity issues.
The Minister of Health expressed gratitude to the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Civil Military Support Element for donating pulse oximeters. These devices will enhance care for patients in Ulaanbaatar and across Mongolia during flu season, according to Muksuk, Director General of Finance. The oximeters will be distributed by the Ministry of Health to public hospitals in and around Ulaanbaatar that are experiencing the most strain from the increase in flu patients. In addition to this equipment being critical to the care and treatment of flu and other respiratory virus patients, they will also increase Mongolia's capacity to care for a variety of the other illnesses. The United States continues to stand by and support our third neighbor, and glad this nation will be able to assist the Mongolian healthcare network in alleviating the stress and impact this winter illness season has on its citizens.
In Ulaanbaatar, there is one-of-a-kind place in the city where love and care flow freely, the Smile coffee shop. Run by the Down Syndrome Association of Mongolia, this coffee shop is managed by young people with Down syndrome and their mothers. This coffee shop is more than just a workplace. It's a social project and training center that demonstrates how, within the right environment, individuals with Down syndrome can work, contribute to society, and enhance their social and communicational skills.
In many countries, people with intellectual disabilities, including Down syndrome, commonly work in the service sector, while children with Down syndrome often have no trouble socializing during preschool and early years. Many face challenges integrating into society once they stop attending school. To address this, the Down Syndrome Association of Mongolia launched this social training project to help young adults with Down syndrome develop essential communication skills and build meaningful connections with the community.
The idea was inspired by the need for inclusion and empowerment. A coffee shop provides the structured environment with individuals can build skills, gain confidence, and contribute meaningfully to society. Our project, the Down Syndrome Association itself, we are working on several projects through some NGO, and we get support from some embassies such as Polish embassy, and since many years ago we have been working with Poland embassy and the Polish government helping us with speech therapy and vocational and many workshops we had. We haven't got any support from the Mongolian government yet, but we do hope that in the future we will get some support from the government.
At the Smile coffee shop, workers with Down syndrome take on various roles, including brewing coffee, making sandwiches, and interacting with customers. These tasks not only help them gain valuable professional skills, but also foster an inclusive environment where their talents and contributions are celebrated.
Hello, my name is Irtenbolt, but people call me Olaka. I'm 30 years old. I come to work with my mom in the morning. I love making coffee at work. Working at the coffee shop and serving many people makes me happy. I have been working here for 5 years. I've also taught my friends how to make coffee, and I was very proud of that. I've made so many wonderful friends here as well.
Each year, March 21st is observed as World Down Syndrome Day. This date highlights the condition caused by a third copy of the 21st chromosome, also known as trisomy 21. That day aims to raise awareness about the rights and abilities of people with Down syndrome and to encourage their inclusion in society.
Working in the coffee shop, our kids learn many skills. Our kids learn especially cash handling, communication skill, food preparation, and self-confidence and teamwork.
As you can see, this is a great example of how, with the right training and support, people with Down syndrome can succeed in any industry. It shows that everyone can contribute meaningfully when given the opportunity. Well, that was your reporter, Jargalma Dushinjargal. Thanks for your attention.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
On January 14, a hearing for non-staff member candidates of the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee will take place at the State Palace. From January 14 to 15, Standing Committee session of the Parliament will be held at the State Palace. On January 15, the Cabinet of Mongolia will hold its regular meeting. A discussion on air pollution and human health will also take place at the State Palace, while citizens can start applying for new vehicle license plates. From January 16 to 17, the State Parliament will hold a plenary session. The Mongolian National Billiards Championship runs from January 17 to 19. On January 18, the State Opera and Ballet Theatre will present the ballet La Fille Malgarde. Finally, on January 19, the Mongolian National Shooting Championship will take place at the Boyuntuha complex in Ulaanbaatar.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Relatives of hostages held in Gaza appealed to President-elect Donald Trump to continue supporting Israel at a news conference on Sunday. Yehoshua Shani, the father of soldier Ori Mordechai, who was killed in action on October 7th in Kisufim, asked Trump to support the Israeli government to get to achieve the two goals: to destroy the Hamas and to bring all hostages in one time, all of them.
The statements were made by members of the Tikva Forum, a loosely organized group whose public members are mostly religious and right-wing. They share the belief that military pressure is the best way to bring their loved ones home, but now say that Israel needs to return the hostages.
Mr. Trump, the President of the United States, my son, Ori Mordechai, he was an officer in Golani. He is an American citizen, like all my family. He got killed on October 7th. Don't push for a deal that's going to bring us back to October 6th. We have an expectation from you as the American president to support the Israeli government to achieve the two goals: to destroy the Hamas and to bring the all hostages one time, all of them. Thank you very much.
We have worked in a manner that has protected America's national security interests for the past 15 months. We are the regional power, and we are the United States' most important resource in maintaining its security interests in the Middle East. And we expect that in the months to come, the incoming Trump administration will recognize an enormous contribution that Israel has made already to U.S. national security and stand shoulder to shoulder with us as we secure those interests and our future for generations to come through absolute victory in this war for our national survival.
The Israeli soldiers do not expect any soldiers of a friendly country to sacrifice himself for us. We demand one thing: let us work. Let freedom triumph over tyranny. Let good triumph over evil. Let life triumph over death. For your sake, for the future of the world, let Israel win total victory. Thank you.
Pressure is mounting on Israel and Hamas to reach a ceasefire and the release of hostages. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said this week that the deal is very close and he hopes to complete it before handing over U.S. diplomacy to the incoming Trump administration. But he and other U.S. officials have expressed similar optimism on several occasions over the past year, only to see the indirect talks stall. The war began when Hamas-led militants stormed into Israel on October 7th of 2023, killing some 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducting around 250. Some 100 hostages are still inside Gaza. Israeli authorities believe at least a third of them were killed in the initial attack or have died in captivity. On Thursday, Gaza's health ministry said over 46,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war. The majority women and children, though it doesn't say how many were fighters or civilians.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.